like three big differences between Dockmate and the competition.
Okay.
One is our communication.
Yep.
Two would be our proportional throttle control. And three would be our dock control software.
Okay.
So the communication we use is a two-way communication between our remote and our receiver.
Okay.
Right? So we use technology called frequency hopping spread spectrum technology. This is the technology that cell phones use, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi. If you're familiar with it, you know what it is. But it's the technology of sending packets of information over several channels, so you have greater range and less interruptions. Okay.
You're not worried about your Dockmate having the same.
Yes, in
the
fact,
neighboring boat isn't going to control your boat.
That's true. We actually use 6 different channels simultaneously, and the code is changing 6 times a second. So there's never any two Dockmates anywhere in the world that are going to have the same 6 channels being used at the same time, because it's changing 6 times a second.
Gotcha.
You know, so that's a big difference. You know, there's other companies out there that will use maybe dual band or 2 channels.
Yep.
They're using one specific channel on one band and one specific channel on another band.
Right.
Okay. They can't move up to a different channel if that channel is busy.
There's noise or anything on it.
Absolutely. Okay. And every single one of their products are on those 2 specific channels.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's a big deal. The other thing is that if you were to lose communication for whatever reason on this particular product, okay, there's a link light here, right?
Okay.
So there's a link light. This link light right now is green. It goes to light green when it's not transmitting. There's a link light will go red. All right. The remote itself vibrates. Okay, and there's an alarm inside the remote. Okay.
So you have multiple forms.
Right. So, if you were to simulate that right now.
The engine light rockets in the middle. The engine down in the middle.
Okay. So now he's basically shut off the power to the Dockmate system.
Okay.
So you can see we got a red light.
Yep.
Feel it? It's vibrating.
Just like your phone
You
would.
got an alarm. All right. So this way. This way. All right. So now he's turned it back on. Okay. And now immediately we've gotten it back. Green light.
Just grabs it right
Just
away.
grabs
Nothing
it.
else you have to do.
Okay. So there's other products out there that it's constantly sending a signal from the remote to the receiver. They may have an alarm, but the alarm is inside. It's inside the receiver.
It's in there.
It's in there. So when you're out back and you got
Doesn't do you any good.
Yeah, I mean, and it's very hard to hear, right? So the only way you know that it's not working is the remote doesn't function. It doesn't do anything, right? So that's a big deal, and that's just one. This is the communication, right? So the proportional throttle control, right? So we talked about that a little bit. So, we can adjust it. So the more you move this, the more throttle you're going to get.
Slowly ramps up.
Slowly ramps up. It's variable speed. It's very different than, say, incremental or, the more you move this, again, the more throttle you're going to get.
Right.
Same thing happens for thrusters. So the more you move it on our joystick, they control the thrusters proportionally. We can control Vita's Pro Series thrusters, which we have on this boat. We can control Sci-Power S-Link thrusters, ABT CAN bus thrusters. All that we can control proportionally.
Gotcha.
Okay. So there's other products out there that have like an S button, maybe.
Yep.
And you can push that button, and it will step up the RPM 10%, 20%, 30%.
Incremental.
It's incremental, and that may be too much. You know what I mean? 20% or 30% throttle could be way too much on some boats.
Right.
Okay? So, but let's just say you want to go, 20%. The big thing is it's going to take 10 seconds to get to that point.
Right.
So if you're docking in a heavy wind situation or heavy current situation and you need more throttle, you have to push a button and then kind of wait for that throttle to
See if
ramp
it's
up.
going to respond. Yeah.
It's a very big difference. So that's proportional throttle control.
Now here we go. We're ramping up. We're 1,000 RPMs.
And we can adjust that. You see,
Make that whatever we need it to be,
all
right?
Move it a little bit, 800.
So it's a nice proportional
Variable speed.
speed going up. It's not only for the thruster, but for the transmission as well.
Right.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Number 3 is our dock control software. Okay. We have the dock control software. It's our proprietary software.
Yep.
That allows us to customize everything on the twist remote for the customer specifications. How much throttle they want. When they want the throttle to engage. Do they want the reverse engine to have more throttle than the forward engine when they're twisting, so the boat spins on its axis versus going like this? We can change all these things. Okay.
So you dial it really right.
You dial it. So if you're going forward and you go to a 45, we can have it so that when you're going forward, you're just above idle, because maybe you don't need throttle for idle, but you might want it for going at a 45 one engine. Well, we can ramp up that engine RPM on there so that maybe you go up to 1,000 RPM, you see the boat moving, you know, I mean, you can feel it, you know what's going on. You know, if you're trying to navigate a little bit through here, okay? We can do all that stuff, all right? When you twist, we can make it so that when you twist and you hold it, the engine RPM ramps up. So if you're coming out of a slip here at a marina, you know, and you got the wind blowing down the fairway, you twist it, you hold it, it really gets that engine RPM ramped up so that you can come down the fairway, you know, at least turn in the fairway and get going right out.
Stand a chance.
So there's a lot of big differences, but those are the big three, you know, our communication, our proportional throttle control, and our dock control software that really separates Dockmate from the rest.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you can dial it into any boat.
Dial in any boat. Again, no two boats are the same, so, you know, and no two customers are the same. It's really the big thing. You may have two boats that are the exact same, but the big deal is no two customers. You know, some guys might want 5%. We actually had a customer that, on a Fleming, that wanted 30% throttle.
Oh, wow.
Guy came from a sport fish, and he knew how to manhandle
that.
He knew what was going on, man. He could dial that boat in so good. So that's the extreme end that we got, but he handled it very, very well. So,
wow.
With, you know, that's a really big deal. If that alone was separating us, I mean, you can really customize it to the customer.
That's huge. Yeah, it's not just the boat; it's to what they want.
That's what
dial it in, get them comfortable, and all right from your program, right?
That's true. Yep.
Just
and it's on the fly. We just did some changes when we were out on our sea chow. You saw, we said, oh, let's just do that. It happens live. And you say, how's that, Mr. You know, customer? Okay, that's great. Or maybe I want a little bit more. Let's try that. Boom. And now it does it. So
and that's just all part of setting up on the install.
It's all setting up. The dealers will do that on the installation. It's a requirement that the dealer do a quick little sea trial. You know, you don't go out to sea. You're out in the marina. You do a quick little sea trial and make sure everything's dialed in.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Sweet. Thanks for the explanation.
You
Thanks
got
for
it,
the
man.
ride.
You got it. You talk
Awesome.
Get a good touch. Yeah, so you just bump it a little bit.
Just that little bit, right? That's what you need.
And the more you move it, the more throttle you
Right, you're going to continue to ramp up that throttle with it, right?
Yes, sir.
That makes sense, okay.
And you can also put one engine in gear if you go to a 45 as well.
Oh, really?
Yes, so if you push it all the way forward, you can see the engine RPM will ramp up when you go to a 45 one way or the other.
I think we got some traffic coming by.
Right. So the beauty of, you know, Dockmate and the software that we offer is that we can customize it for every boat. You know, like no two boats are the same, essentially.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or, you know, so it's what the owner wants. Some owners might want a little more throttle, some want a little less. It's, you know, with the software, we're able to do that.
All right. All right, so now we've just gone ahead. They've taken back off here, but we were able to get out there in the water. You guys see some of the footage, how easy this thing is to control. You've got your windlass controls on there, you've got horn control, you've got bow thruster. If the boat is equipped with a stern thruster, you have stern thruster control, and you have a very nice, smooth, proportional control with your throttle and with your thruster. Instead of it being, you know, incremental jumps of 10, 15, 20, and 30%, it's a very smooth, gradual increase, and very much you can dial this boat in to exactly what the customer wants. I was very impressed with how smooth it operates, how easy it operates, and makes docking the boat just that much more stress-free. We all know docking is a little stressful out there for some people. This just makes it easy. Even if you're not going to use the boat as a joystick and walk around your boat with it, having that just mounted on your helm, and now you've got your joystick control on your boat. Maybe your boat didn't come with it. You've got that joystick control functionality now.